So thank you. Don. What's up, guys? Happy Monday. Today we have a very special presentation, an opportunity overview of Orygn TriGLP. That this thing is going viral. So you guys will learn why this is going viral and why this is the hottest opportunity, product slash opportunity a lot of us have ever been a part of. I've been in the industry for 20 years and I've never seen anything quite like this. And I remember the phone call that I had a few months ago from Dan himself, who was so excited about what he had found. And he said, this will be the most impactful product we've ever seen. And I was like, man, I cannot wait because if you guys know anything about Dan, he's been a part of companies that have generated billions of dollars in sales. He's built teams of over millions of people in different companies and has been the brainchild of a lot of successful companies, products. So when he told me about the excitement behind TriGLP, I believed him. And then, we got a testimonial group together and we saw how quickly this product was changing people's lives. We got really excited. In the past 5 months, I haven't seen momentum like this in a long time. And I feel like we really are just getting started. And so we asked Dan to get on here and share with him some of his thoughts, of why this is all where it all came about. But Dan, if you could, it's first of all, it's a pleasure working back with you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. You've done so much and helped so many people. And I really feel with this, the impact is going to be 10 times what either of us have done in the past. But
Mhm.
uh, if you could you go your backstory a little bit of this? And you said this will be the hottest product we've ever been a part of. Why is that? Why is this product so amazing? Why is this like going viral? What was your idea in launching this? A little bit, if you could talk about that, and I'd like to bring a testimonial on after that.
Perfect. Yeah, I appreciate it. Demetrius, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. And it's just kind of funny in life how things work out. But I was first introduced to this company back in 2012. And a guy by the name of Mark McKnight was the owner of the manufacturer that I got all my products from. And every time I work with the contract manufacturers, I'm always kind of saying, hey, do you know of anything that's hot, any story? And so they kind of know what I'm looking for. And it's not just the product, it's like the story behind the product and all of that. And he said, man, I just met with these guys from Norway. And he said, I flew out there and it literally looks like a town from a fairy tale. You fly in from Oslo and you see all the fjords and these huge kind of like mountains in the middle of the ocean and all this stuff. And it's kind of like going back in time. And he sent me a bunch of pictures and he was telling me about these omegas that they had and the science and the technology and how it all worked out. It was basically one of the largest salmon producers in the world, and they purchased a nutraceutical company that was doing all kinds of research and study specifically on salmon. And so they saw what was going on, and because these guys are again one of the biggest producers of salmon in the neighborhood of around 100,000 tons a day. So think about that, 100,000 tons a day. That is a lot of fish. And so, anyways, they just started studying different things, and they're maybe one of the first creators ever of I'm trying to think of the right words, but kind of like a full spectrum omega product. So it's not just the omega 3, 6, 9, 12 things like that. It's like all the omegas that are in the fish, period. And there really was nothing else like it. And also one thing that's very interesting is all of their salmon that they produce is sushi grade. So you're looking at all of it is safe to eat raw, which is almost not possible. I mean, you have to have things so perfect in order to have those types of conditions. And when we were there, even at the processing plant where they're doing the fillets and stuff like that, there's very little fish smell. And they said, the fish really doesn't start to smell until it starts to oxidize. And so all the time when we're like smelling a fish smell, that's the fish that's already going bad. And so it was just so interesting. And this was back in 2012 was my first introduction. And I thought, man, that's super cool. But the timing just wasn't great for what I was doing, what I was focusing on. And so I didn't end up doing anything with it. Now, fast forward, very interesting, to 2024. Another contract manufacturer that we were working with from a company that we didn't necessarily purchase it, but we merged a company called Kairos Health into Be Epic, um, probably in 2024, maybe I think it was 2024. And we brought an enzyme product. This is the enzyme product right here. We brought um, a two or three. We brought a coffee product from them, and then we also brought a collagen product. And they introduced me to a manufacturer that they worked with, and he sent me all these studies. They sent me three sets of studies, and one of them was on peptides, and the peptides just really caught my attention because it was already starting to grow, and you're hearing about it more and more, and specifically the GLP peptides. And again, GLP, the peptides that signal GLP-1, GLP-2, GIP, glucagon, things like that. So GLP is not a peptide, but the signaling molecules that signal GLP-1 and stuff like that were already popular. And I knew about peptides also going back to about 2010, 2012. A couple friends of mine that had gyms were all taking peptides. So again, 10, 15 years before they became as popular as they have been. But peptides have been a thing in the bodybuilding industry, in the fitness industry, recovery, and all of that for decades and decades and decades. Tons and tons of research showing the benefits of peptides. And so we literally went to launch the peptides on 11/11 of 2024. I got samples out in capsules and in powder to about 150 of our leaders. And I was so stoked, Demetrius. I mean, I was like, this is going to be the biggest product ever to hit the network marketing industry. How it works with contract manufacturers, as you know, typically you pay half down up front and then the other half when they ship the order. So once it ships, you pay the second half. We paid the first half. They're supposed to ship at least enough to start pre-sales on 11/11. It didn't come through. They were in the process of buying a different building and moving and just all kinds of things that ended up happening. We go, okay, well, maybe around Thanksgiving we can launch it. Still don't produce any product for us. Just excuse after excuse. We come to January. We get ready to say, hey, maybe we can do January, still weight loss season. Everybody's going to be excited. And they just never brought us the product. And we were also right in about 3 months before that is when we started our own manufacturer. And part of this was the reason we decided to start our own manufacturer. The main reason was the manufacturer that I've personally worked with for over 20 years and absolutely fantastic. Loved working with them. Sold. And when they sold, we went from being, one of their biggest customers and working, very close with them. They knew exactly, how we worked, what we did. We even partnered with them and brought in a bunch of machines for them in order to do our blister packs and things like that. So I had a 20-year relationship with this company. And when they sold, they sold to a big hedge fund that they just brought in people to run it, not even from here, didn't know me, didn't know our business, didn't know anything. And it literally was a disaster. One of the products that was a good selling product for us, that they took them more than 6 months to fulfill it. The coloring was different, the flavor was different, and just really kind of the worst case scenario. And that's why we decided to start our own manufacturer. And again, this is a bit of a story, but just so you know the background of it, we basically had a large group come over to Be Epic from Jeunesse, and their number one selling product in Latin America was also a collagen product. And so they were looking at, see if we could create something like that. And so we kind of just said, hey, maybe we'll launch this instead. It's still a great story. We're the manufacturer and we can do it. So we launched a product called Epic Slim. It's been a fantastic product. We've sold tens and tens of millions of dollars of that product all over the world. And I kind of, just put the peptides on the back burner and all kind of forgot about it. And just how the world works and the timing of the universe and everything like that. In October, I got a call from Robert Sacco on to meet with somebody who was using the same peptides, but they have a patented extract process, and they are doing it in an extract, and they've been testing it and getting good results and stuff like that. And so he said, you know what, I think you guys should meet. And this is like the first week of October of 2025. And so he comes to the office. We spend a day, and I said, "Man, this would be perfect because we basically go from, what you was holding up earlier, a bottle like this is what he was showing, and the other option. This is not the product, but the other option would be more something like this, with 28 to 30 stick packs." And I thought, man, if I had the choice logistically, this is 100 times better. We can fit more than 10,000 on a pallet. Takes way less room in warehouses and stuff like that. And so I said, you know what? How fast could we get some if we decide to do this? And he said, let me go back and talk to the extractor, and we actually have some of the raw ingredient in stock right now. He gave me a call back and said, you know what? I think we could do it in about 3 weeks. And so I literally had already been on GoDaddy for like 4 or 5 hours, just trying to think of names, trying to come up with ideas. And I was like, okay, it has GLP-1, GLP-2, and GIP, three different pathways. And so I just checked to see if TriGLP was available. It wasn't my first. I probably checked 100 other things before that. And I was like, man, how lucky is that? I mean, to get a domain, TriGLP, it's almost impossible these days. And the domain was available. I started working with our graphics guys. This is all just happening in one day after meeting with Sean and Robert, and send over to Sean some logos for TriGLP. I said, hey, I got the domain. I think this would be perfect. And then he sends, hey, let me look at it. I like that. And then literally I think it was literally the very next day, he sent me over a whole brand guide of Orygn, and TriGLP is the product. And I said, man, this is beautiful. I love it. Let's go. And so we started working on ordering the bottles, ordering the labels, getting the supplement packs, doing all of those types of things that you have to do, building the website, and literally. And Demitrius, you've had experience with this, working with contract manufacturers and doing all of that. Literally in less than 4 weeks, basically probably less than 3 weeks, we went from not having a product, no name, no website, no nothing, to literally selling our first 5,000 bottles on 11/11 of 2025. And so the reason I was so excited about this is I watch trends. I pay a lot of attention, and I've never seen anything. And I also study history, and I really study, like, if I was going to say, what would you have a doctorate degree in? Like, what have you studied the most out of anything? I would say success. That's what I've studied more than probably anything else in my life, because I heard the term "success leaves clues," and so that I believe that 100%. So I've studied almost every single successful network marketing company. What distributors were their top distributors? What did they do? How did they do it? All of those different types of things, and just business in general. It's something that I've studied a ton, and so I've looked at almost every big company, what their breakout product was, how it happened, their types of systems, the presentations, personal development, their whole story of what they did. And I've never seen anything like this. When you have literally the number one selling pharmaceutical in the world, you got to think about that. We're talking about in 2025 around $60 billion. And you look at other huge ones like Adderall. Adderall's huge. I mean, they went through such a space that most pharmacies were out of inventory, and they're having a shortage. And that's about 20 billion a year. So the GLP-1s are already 3 times bigger than something like Adderall. Something like Viagra, again, but you see Viagra commercials and stuff all the time. That's about 8 billion a year. So I mean, this is massive. And then you see some popular things going on in the nutraceutical market, like patches. Different companies have had patches. We have a patch. It's been a fantastic product for us. And that's about 700 million a year. So when you're talking about 60 billion, it's just such a massive number. And a lot of times people just think, okay, there's a million, then there's a billion, and then there's a trillion. But a billion is so much bigger than a million. I think that most of us don't really comprehend it. Like when you've seen it, I don't have the exact thing. I used to know the exact number, but if you made $1 every second, then it would take about, it's either 11 or 13 days to come up with a million. And it's 36 years to come up with a billion. So that's the difference in a million and a billion. So you're talking about 60 billion and expected to be over 100 billion in the next 2 years. Now you also have to look at that. That's not including anything that's happening from the compounding pharmacies all over the world, where they're selling peptides direct to consumers. They're selling them to weight loss clinics and things like that for research purposes only. And there's billions and billions of dollars in sales in that. I don't know if you saw this, Demetrius, but they were showing the first person ever. There was like a one person business that created $1 billion business. Did you see that? Within like the last 3 or 4 months, it's been out in the all over Instagram and stuff like that. But basically, what was his business? His business was setting up peptide sites. And in less than 2 years, he created $1 billion business as a single employee business. Never been done in the world. Never been done in the history of the world. So this is something that is not like a once every decade type of a thing. This probably isn't even like a once in a lifetime type of a thing. This is like all the stars have aligned, and it's created probably the biggest opportunity that's ever been in the history of the world. I literally think it's that big of an opportunity. And why is that? Why haven't peptides have been out for decades? Again, I knew people 15 years ago in my office that we helped set up some gyms, and they were had these peptides with powder. They had some backwater to them, and they're injecting these things. And they're like, "Hey, do you want some?" I'm like, "No, I don't want any." I mean, to me, it's like you don't even know what that is, where it's coming from. It says right on it, not for human consumption. But peptides have been around for a long time. But why are they going so big right now? The reason they're going so big right now is because big pharma understands how powerful they are, and they got involved. And so that you had the first ones ever that were now a pharmaceutical, and that was the GLP-1. But you have to look at that 60 billion. It's not like general everyday public is going and getting a prescription for Wegovy, semaglutide, or Ozempic. I mean, literally, it's the type 2 diabetics, pre-diabetics, and people that are severely overweight. They go and make an appointment with their doctor and either pay thousands of dollars or their insurance pays thousands of dollars. Prices have gone down now that it's become more and more popular, but prices are still so expensive on the pharmaceutical side that I saw in some cases like 70% of insurance companies have come up that they're not going to cover it anymore. So now you're going to be looking that these GLP-1 drugs, I saw an ad that it said, are these weight loss drugs now only available for the rich because so many pharmaceuticals are dropping it? Excuse me, not drop pharmaceuticals, not insurance companies decided not to cover it. And so another thing that you have to look at, GLP-1 is, created some absolutely incredible weight loss stories, but there's a lot of side effects and there's a lot of downside to it. And GLP-1 is amazing because it's literally exactly what everybody would say that they want, which is, would you like something that you can lose 20 to 30% of your body weight in 12 to 16 weeks without changing anything? And then most people are going to say, yeah, of course I want that. But it's not necessarily true because people are changing things because the product changes how your brain works, the chemistry in your brain, it changes your hormones, it changes all kinds of things. But the first thing that it does is it helps slow down all types of cravings. And they're also using this very successfully in all types of rehab clinics for drug, alcohol, even gambling, all types of addictions. And so food is probably, sugars specifically, maybe the hardest addiction out of anything to stop. And it's working for that. So they're also having good success with drugs and alcohol and all kinds of things. So that's the first thing. The second thing is it slows down the digestion in the gut severely, so that when you eat, you're going to feel full a lot longer. And if you overeat, when you overeat and you feel bloated, now all of a sudden you're going to feel more bloated and you're going to feel it for a lot longer period of time. So typically on a GLP-1, depending on the dose, they're not going to eat nearly as much as before. A, they're not craving it. B, it's slowing down the digestion so they feel full longer. C, if you overeat, you're going to feel horrible. And also, these are extremely strong, very potent. And so if you take too much, then it creates nausea and makes you sick and feel like you're going to throw up. And so then you're not eating also. So this is kind of what started everything. And so this is kind of what I'm looking at. And then when you see what we have here, we'll try GLP, GLP-1, GLP-2, and GIP. And here's the big thing. It has the same types of studies that the pharmaceuticals look at. So it's showing that 20 to 30% body weight reduction in 16 weeks. And with that, because of the GIP, it's showing almost no lean mass lost. Where the GLP-1s, they're losing 50 to 60% lean mass. So when you're talking about weight loss, I think almost all of us, if I say I want to lose some weight, I'm actually talking about fat. I'm not talking about just weight loss. When you have weight loss, you have water, you have fat, and you have lean mass. And you definitely don't want to be dehydrated. That's the cause of all kinds of health issues. You don't want to lose lean mass. They say that the more muscle that you hold on the body, the longer you'll live. It's the longevity organ. That's your muscles. So when you're losing that much muscle, it's just horrible, for your health, and actually starts to work against you. And so when you're looking to lose weight, basically you want to hold on to your lean mass, you want to stay hydrated, you want to lose fat. And that's what TriGLP really is. It's not weight loss, it's fat loss. And it's because of the GLP-1. The GLP-2 takes care of most of the side effects of GLP-1 and has some absolutely incredible benefits, such as healing the gut, lowering inflammation throughout the entire body. And here's why this is so important. It's been studied that every disease has an inflammatory response. And the more they studied it, they're trying to say, does inflammation cause disease or does disease cause inflammation? And what they found, the more they studied it, that they feel that the inflammation actually ends up causing the disease. So very, very important. This helps reduce the inflammation throughout the entire body. Another thing, it helps with mineral uptake. Specifically, I have studies showing with iron. 100% of diseases can be traced back to mineral deficiencies. Minerals, again, are rocks. And so they're very difficult for the body to assimilate, to absorb. The body is meant to get them in food. And so it's very hard to supplement with minerals that the body can really assimilate and use. And so this helps with mineral uptake so that the body's able to assimilate and absorb minerals better. And again, that's massive. The Otto Warburg, I believe, is the one who won the Nobel Prize, showing that all diseases can be traced back to mineral deficiencies. It's either Otto Warburg or Linus Pauling, one of those two. The next thing that's massive, it helps improve the immune system. And then GIP actually helps with the issue to preserve the lean mass. It helps the body become insulin sensitive instead of insulin resistant. And why is that so important? A lot of people try and simplify weight loss and think that, okay, I have to be at a calorie deficit. That's true for weight loss. Weight loss, a calorie deficit, you should lose weight. But again, are we literally trying to lose weight or are we trying to lose fat? Most people are trying to lose fat. You're not going to lose fat if you don't take care of your insulin resistance problem. And I believe that insulin resistance is the number one issue of health worldwide. It's the reason that heart disease is the number one killer. It's the reason that so many things happen, the obesity and all of that is when you're in a fasted state, you shouldn't have insulin present. Insulin, the body releases to basically put a lockdown on your fat. If you just pictured your fat as a door and it has a lock, when there's insulin present, it's locking it. And the reason why is because there shouldn't be insulin present unless you just ate. So when you eat, the body releases insulin to help control blood sugar and stuff like that. It also locks down the fat so that the body will use the energy from food. But what happens when you have insulin in a fasted state, there isn't food. And so now it's not going to burn the fat, it's going to burn the lean mass. And so that's what's happening with the GLP-1. They're not taking care of the insulin resistance problem, and they're eating less food. And they since they have insulin present when they're even when they're not eating, they're losing a bunch of lean mass. So hopefully that makes sense to people. You really need something. If you're going to do a GLP-1, you either need to make sure that you're increasing your protein intake significantly. Most people don't eat enough protein to maintain or add lean mass. You also need to make sure that you're moving, and most people aren't doing that. And so the weight loss, again, they're losing about as much lean mass as they are fat, and it's causing massive problems. And so two things that I'm excited about. One, $60 billion in sales last year, only to diabetics, type 2 diabetics, pre-diabetics, severely overweight. It's not counting the billions and billions sold to other people. Another thing, these aren't peptides. These are mimicking peptides that are being sold. 100% synthetic. So I've had people ask me, well, how does this compare to the real thing? I'm like, this is the real thing. So what are you saying is the real thing? The 100% synthetic mimicking peptides with all kinds of side effects, those are the real thing? Or actual peptides from food, that's the real peptides that the body's meant to get. And so when you realize people are using peptides and they're hearing about it more and more, peptides are nothing new. Peptides are short chain amino acids. They're contained in fiber, they're contained in protein, they're contained in all kinds of food that we eat. But the problem is, if the body's not breaking these down correctly, or if you're eating too much over-processed foods, then you're not getting the peptides correctly because the body's kind of working against you instead of working with you, or you're not eating the foods that contain them. So what this does is instead of your body having to break everything down for all of these peptides, they do it at the manufacturing state. So they take the head, the backbone, and the skin of the fish, and then they break that down through an enzymatic process, which would be similar to the enzymes in our stomach, and they break it down, which the proteins break down. You basically have the omegas and the fats. They separate all of that out, and that's where they come up with their omegas. And then they also have the calcium and stuff like that in the bones. They separate that out also. And then with the enzymatic process, they continue to break down these proteins into amino acids, continue to break it down more into short chain amino acids. And there's literally over 500 peptides in this TriGLP. So these peptides signal GLP-1, GLP-2, GIP, but that's just the beginning. There's so many more studies. They're literally spending millions and millions and millions more studying. They have stuff coming out on prostate cancer, colon cancer, breast cancer, using this along with some of the top pharmaceuticals, and amazing results. They have some studies coming out with helping with a lot of the symptoms of menopause for women, balanced hormones and things like that. And so they're just scratching the surface. Again, over 500 peptides from salmon again, the way that in an extract, that's all of that power and just 5 to 10 drops per day. The other thing that I do want to mention, you should be getting emails out. You should be seeing stuff within the next week, just because we are making a couple changes. Within the next week or so, you should be seeing all of this out. But what we're doing is we're going to go to a 9 mil fill. So it's the same bottle, but right now it's 5.5 mils. And that was based on, talking to Sean and the dosages and stuff that they were using. And now that we've sold, well over 100,000 bottles, we're understanding how dosage are, what's working better for people. Some people are taking more. And so we're going to a 9 mil fill. Everything will be in fully branded boxes. And then we ordered tubes. I know that you saw like kind of the example of the tubes. We've already ordered those. They're beautiful. Those will be probably mid-July. But starting here in about a week, we'll have fully branded boxes again. Every one that goes out will be in a box. It'll be 9 mils. It's 40% more. So the single bottle is going up in price from $55 to $74.95. People that are on an auto ship on the single bottle, that's automatically going to change unless they cancel it. So the auto ship will stay, but it'll go and obviously we'll send out notice weeks before this happens so that they have time to change it or whatever they want. But people on a single bottle will already change. The 3-pack is going to a 2-pack. So 3 bottles right now has 16.5 mils. 2 bottles will have 18 mils. So you're getting more product, and we're doing the same exact price, the same exact CV. The 6-pack will go to a 4-pack. The 9-pack will go to a 6-pack. So the 2-pack has more product in it than the 3-pack. 10 drops a day, it's 36 days. 5 drops per day, a single bottle is 36 days. A single bottle on 10 drops is 18 days. And the big reason for doing this is the single bottle right now isn't enough for even a good maintenance dose. So the single bottle, they're really not going they might get it if they take the 10 drops a day, it's only going to be about 10 days worth of product. And then they're going to be out. If they take 5 drops a day, they're still not going to last the month. So now you have 1 bottle, which is basically a perfect maintenance dose. That's still going to have the benefits of reducing inflammation and improving the immune system, helping with things like menopause, all of the other benefits that you have in the single bottle. Also, that single bottle will max out the compensation plan, including the full lifestyle bonus. So it's 74.95, 60 CV. Normally you need 70 CV, but because this product's so hot, I personally hate when companies have a flagship product and then the CVs don't match, meaning I have to buy like way more product in order to hit it or something like that. And so I didn't want to have people with 60 CV and then have to, well, geez, now I got to find something with 10 CV to get to the 70. And it's a great thing when you think of that 74.95, max out the entire compensation plan, have an effective dose of the product. Again, maybe not for maximum weight loss, but still good. And then at the same time, 2 bottles instead of 3, taking up less room, should save a little bit on shipping, and you're getting more product for the same price. And so, our
I
price
just let me
obviously.
let me interject, Dan. I just want to say thank you from all of us for doing that because that, guys, that's amazing. More product, more product for the same price. Which let me recap really quickly of what he said, you guys, because he's dropped. This is a little bit different opportunity zoom than you guys have seen in the past, and I love it because you probably didn't sign up for this much information, this much backstory, or understanding why the whole, this product is going so viral. Okay, so he covered a lot of amazing information. Imagine over 500 peptides, real, organic, natural, actual peptides in this right here, this dropper. He dropped some major knowledge on the industry. $60 billion, guys, we get to tap into. Going back to why I got so excited when Dan said, hey, this is going to be the biggest impact product we've ever been a part of. Now, can you guys see why? Can you start to understand why he got so excited, why I got so excited? You want to talk about testimonials? I've never in my career, 20 plus years, have seen an organic product help so many people in so many different ways. Before we go into opportunity, Dan, real quick, because we're going to start to talk about shift a little bit about opportunity.
Yeah.
I want to bring on, if that's okay, one of our testimonials, one of our top leaders, somebody that's crushing this business, setting records, doing amazing things, leading the charge, to share her testimonial, her product testimonial, real quick, and you'll see why the product testimonials are turning into so many amazing business testimonials because there's nothing like this on the planet. Absolutely nothing. Michelle Sombrana, if you could share your testimonial on the product. She was one of the first testers that we got, first person I called next to Ashley, my business partner. She got on the product, had an amazing experience. If you could quickly share your product experience, and I've worked with Michelle for years, and I've never seen a product work like this for you. But also, she is a double blue diamond. That's a multiple six-figure year position, just so you guys know. And her business is absolutely booming. Michelle, if you could share your product testimonial, your experience so far, And I mean, you're welcome to also talk about, which leads into the business testimonial. Let me see if
I'm right
Michelle,
here. Hi,
okay, perfect. Yeah,
everyone.
go ahead.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for having me on. So normally I don't get to talk about myself and my opportunity, what this has done for me. I normally just talk opportunity. So I'm really excited about this product. We've, like me, I'm sure all of you have tried everything under the sun, right? Everything. And it's just nice to find something that's so simple to use, is so easy. I take every single day in the morning and I go live in my stories every day and I fill my little dropper to the 0.50 and I take it every single day live with everybody. So you can see that I'm taking it. This is what I'm using. This is what I'm doing. But over the past couple of months on the product, I've actually lost 25 pounds. I hit 25 pounds yesterday, which is incredible because I hit early menopause. I struggled with the weight up and down, up and down. I was just over it. I had just decided, I was just going to be a chubby girl. Like I embraced my chubbiness because it was just here to stay. And so I just dealt with it until literally until this, you know, and I did hit plateaus along the way. And honestly, what I did was I kept an extra bottle of this around. And on those couple of days where I hit the plateaus, I just took an extra dropper full, and that was what I did, and that's how I got through my plateau. But I, from like mid December to now, when I look at pictures, I can see my legs thinning. I could see my arms thinning. I could see my face thinning. I could see, I could feel my rings are spinning on me. There's just so much inflammation that's gone. I feel better. I haven't, no, I have fused vertebrae and I always have back pain. I said to my husband the other day, my back hasn't hurt in months. Like I wasn't even realizing that part of it. All I was thinking was, look at my body changes. I wasn't thinking, wow, like I didn't even realize my back hasn't hurt. Like what is happening? Like I have fused vertebrae from a car accident 29 years ago. That's how long I've been dealing with that. And it's been months now, and I didn't even realize it because I've lived with it for so long that it was part of my daily life. I just didn't even think of it. And I just was sitting there today like, wow, like I really haven't had any back pain. And so that's just my experience on it. But I just feel really good. I hit early menopause. So, I was dealing with all that, all the headaches from that and the night sweats and all of that. And it's just like it's gone. Like it didn't, like it's not here anymore. And it's just amazing to be able to feel normal again. For years dealing with perimenopause and menopause, like you just don't realize you're just not normal. You just don't feel yourself. And I'm finally feeling like myself again, and that is priceless to me. Priceless. Like to be able to feel like yourself again, and I'm sure you women out there understand that. It is just the best feeling to feel like me again. I traveled on a plane the other day or the last week for 5 hours. I wasn't uncomfortable at all on the plane. It's just like those are things that I had to just deal with in life, and I don't have to deal with that anymore. And again, it's priceless. Like things like that, you can't put a money value on. Yet here we are with this amazing product that is very cost efficient. Like to me, it's not expensive. I've paid way less and got way less out of it. Way more and got way less out of it. This is just affordable, and I'm just loving it. Like I make sure I'm fully stocked at all times. I talk about this all the time, and that's what leads me into my opportunity, you guys, because I literally talk about this all the time. I will, no matter where I go, I'm talking to somebody about this. So I'm talking to about it at my salon. I'm talking about it in the grocery store. I'm talking about it to everyone because I'm that passionate about how this has helped me. And I urge you, if you're on here and you have not yet tried this, give it a try. Because if you were like me, you've spent money on other things that didn't work. So why not try one more thing that could make all the difference for you? Because it has made the difference for me and many other people as well. And yeah, I'm just having fun sharing it, you guys. If you could share something that works for you and is working for so many other people and be able to help everyone. You can go from, earning a little bit of side gig to earning, salary type money. And that could make a lot of things change within your life. So I just really wanted to share that, really wanted to just encourage everyone, give it a try. And
Michelle,
thanks
I
for
love
having
that.
me.
And honestly, I'm so happy for you from a product testimonial standpoint. Um, and like I said, I mean, Dan was talking about how this isn't just for weight loss slash fat loss. I'm blown away at how broad and all the different things it's helping so many people with. And we don't make any medical claims here, just like we don't make any income claims. So it's cool to hear different people's testimonials. But you guys can see why she's now crushing it at a multiple six-figure year position, double blue diamond, because she is so passionate. She talks to everybody. Little plug. Now we have our testimonial group as well. If you guys haven't, go add yourself to join that testimonial group, because you'll see so many people's testimonials, even in the comments below, of how this is helping people. No wonder this is going viral. No wonder Dan was so excited and I got so excited when he talked about this is going to be huge. And it is doing what he said it would do, which is why we're absolutely exploding right now. So let's transition a little bit to the opportunity aspect of it. Dan, thank you so much for your time. This has been amazing. So you're giving so much information. So the product, guys, we have the hottest product in the history, I feel, of the entire world. Organic, zero side effects. You guys just heard it actually got cheaper. Who does that? It got cheaper per milliliter, right? You get more milliliter for the same exact price. Thanks again, Dan. Everybody thank Dan in the chat. But you've got the most effective, amazing, incredible product right now. How do you take advantage of that? I want Dan to go in a little bit to the opportunity. First of all, 50% retail, some of the highlights of the pay plan. Dan is a literal genius. 50% retail, okay? From customer one to customer done, as many customers as you get, 50% of the dollar amount you get one customer. Say they spend 80 bucks, you get 40 bucks. That's amazing. What if you get 20 customers? What if you got people that have gotten hundreds of customers? Guys, I've never seen a company that is attracting even doctors like Dr. Jeremy, crushing it. He's on this Zoom, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of customers he's gotten. Imagine what your type of income can turn into residually. Okay. Dan, you had mentioned lifestyle bonuses, and I want to turn some time over to you to talk about your brainchild, this comp plan, this pay plan. I've never seen a pay plan like it where so many people are actually winning. If you could go into whatever you want to talk about, brother, the floor is yours to talk about
Perfect.
opportunity. But
Yeah, want to bring up one more thing, just kind of some coming soon, so that people know what's going on. We are going to bring out the powdered version, which would be similar to any of our other products that are in a stick pack. And that we'll probably do an LTO on that in June, mid to late June, and then launch it everywhere in July. The reason we're doing that is because all of the studies are on the powder. And even though we're seeing every testimonial and everything say doing the same thing that the studies are doing, but bringing this out with the powder, then we can use all the doctors that have done all the studies and all of the information. And it tastes fantastic. A little bit before the call started, this was full, now it's empty, and that was the peptides. You've had a chance to try them also, Demetrius, and I'm super, super excited about that. It will be the same price, $74.95 for one bag, $130 for two, et cetera, and works perfect. Take them, like we'll also have a mix, one of each, that type of a thing, because sometimes you don't necessarily feel like just the drops all the time, and you may not feel like the drink all the time. But the drink's fantastic. It will allow us to use all the studies, all the future studies, do stuff with the doctors that have done all the studies, and really help us take it to the next level. Both of those, also the 74.95, 60 CV will max out the plan. So let me talk about a couple of things. My goal since 1995, when I first came to an exact game plan of what I needed to do to build a business and how I was going to be successful. First thing, it starts with knowing exactly what you want. I honestly don't think that I ever would have achieved very much in network marketing if I didn't come up with the exact game plan, knowing exactly what I wanted, knowing exactly how many people it took in order to reach those goals, and the main focus was duplication and retention. And the number one way to retain is to get people in profit. So the first thing that I was thinking of, it was, okay, here's what we have to do. We have to, get people the easiest way possible to get in profit, and we'll retain more than anybody else. That's why we have the 50% on customers. I get 2 customers, I'm in profit. Or if I'm on a single bottle and I get 1 customer on 2, then I'm basically going to be at a break even with 1 customer, even though I'm on 1 pack. So 1 to 2 customers is going to put you in profit. The lifestyle bonus is the same concept. I'm a huge fan of a 2-team pay plan. And I could go on and on and on and explain why I think it's far superior to a unilevel, why it's far superior to a matrix. And I actually would love to go debate anybody in the world on compensation plans and explain why it's just superior. It just literally is. A unilevel, you're fighting with your entire downline for limited levels. And you're literally going to make less as your downline achieves more because they're blocking you from levels. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The 2-team pay, there's no levels, but there's also downsides to the 2-team pay. And so one of the things on most binaries or 2-team pay plans, it takes more than 30 people to break even. The industry average is about 15. And so I thought that in this type of a plan, it's vital that you have a little duplication system, because everything, you need to be thinking every single thing that you do is duplication, retention, duplication, retention. And you're going to realize that you don't have to duplicate at a very high number to reach mass income. If you can have duplication and retention, I mean, the sky's the limit. The money can come so fast, it's almost unbelievable. And so I wanted to say, okay, what could we do that I can teach somebody just a simple process that if they duplicate that, every part of the compensation plan takes care of itself. And that's why we came up with the lifestyle bonuses. 2 who get 2, 3 who get 3, 4 who get 4, 5 who get 5. All of them work the same way. But if we just look at the smallest one, which should be the easiest one to duplicate, and let's just talk about 1 bag of stick packs or 1 bottle once we go to the $74.95. Just as an example. I get 2 people, that qualifies me for unlimited commissions. Now I want to help them qualify for unlimited commissions by also getting 2. That gets me a $100 bonus. So 75, let's say 7, 8, I don't know what the shipping is. $10 shipping, $85 to my door. 2 who get 2, I made 100, plus the rest of my income is probably around $110, $120 per month. First month is going to be a little bit higher because of the fast start. So the first month will be about 150. Every month after that will be about 120. So well into profit. When people ask me price, the question I ask them when they're asking me the price, I say, so do you just want to be a customer? Because that's really the only time that it makes sense to talk the price. Because you have to realize by design, we're designed to pay you. If you're not making money, you're doing everything wrong. You're not building the business. You might as well just be a customer and not worry about the business. Because the business side, the cost is irrelevant. We're literally designed to get you in profit. The easiest way to do that by building the team is the lifestyle bonuses. 2 who get 2, now your product's all of a sudden better than free. And that's really what the goal is, what I'm trying to tell people. The price is going to be better than free because I'm going to teach you how to get in profit, and then you're going to teach your team how to get in profit. That's going to raise your retention, and then the income's going to go up from there. So what I typically do when I explain the comp plan, I explain the 50% instant pay on customers, because that's going to be the easiest way to get your business in profit. The next thing I do is explain how to max out the entire compensation plan. 1 active left, 1 active right. You want to teach them to do the same thing. That gets your lifestyle bonus. Now, as I duplicate that, if I duplicate that 4 times, that's going to put me at a multiple 6-figure income. So around $200,000 per year, single $74.95 bottle. If I duplicate it 6 times, that's going to be basically $1 million per year income. I duplicate it 8 times. That's going to be close to the $1 million per month. And that's really the entire compensation plan. I want to explain because a lot of people say, okay, if I duplicate the 2x2 4 times, does that mean I go and get 2 more people and help them get 2 and 2 more people and help them get 2? And then they start doing this math and they're like, well, geez, that's only like 24 people. So let me explain what I mean by the duplication. I get 2 people. That's 2 on my first level. They get 2 people. That's 4 on my second. So now to duplicate that 1 more time, I need those 4 to get 2, which is 8, those 8 to get 2, which is 16. So those levels 3 and 4 of 8 and 16 is going to be the next duplication. That's the second. The third one would be the 16 get 2, which is 64. The 64 get 2, or excuse me, the 16 get 2, which is 32. The 32 get 2, which is 64. That's going to be the third one. And then one more is the fourth one that's going to put you at about a 6-figure income. Multiple 6-figure, duplicate it 6 times is going to be a 7-figure. Duplicated 8 times is going to be an 8-figure. Now, that's duplicating the 2x2. If I duplicate the 3x3 just by going one wider, then I'm going to have to duplicate that less times. And also it's a $300 bonus instead of a $100 bonus. So again, your people are more in profit. The 4 who get 4, again, I'm duplicating that less times. It's 20 people. That's a $500 bonus. 5 who get 5 is 30 people, a $700 bonus. And so as I duplicate that 5 who get 5, I only have to duplicate that like 4 times in order to get to $1 million per year or more type of an income. The 2 who get 2, I have to duplicate 8 times. So it's just, what's easier to duplicate? 2 who get 2, 3 who get 3, 4 who get 4, 5 who get, it's, in my opinion, it's all the same. Because if you understand how a system works, you're going to sign up way more than 2 people. And if you can get them following a system, they're going to sign up way more than 2 people also. So here's the most exciting thing, in my opinion. Just as exciting, if not more exciting than the product. And that's Closer, the latest media version. Email should be going out today, tomorrow, and for the next several weeks. I believe next week we're going to start calls on Tuesdays and Thursdays, training people how to sync it up, how to set it up, how it works, and go from there. So the full media version is available now. We've had the free version and the non-media version, which is just doing typical posts of a picture and words. And then also part of the post is the hashtags, the captions, the call to action. And then the call to action is what creates engagement. And then once there's engagement, the AI will automatically follow up with them all the way till they're a customer or a distributor. And so you choose your campaign. Do you want your campaign to be focused on getting brand partners and distributors, or do you want your campaign focused on getting customers? And so it's your choice. You set up the campaign how you want. The campaigns are all done for you. Literally takes less than 10 minutes to sync up your social medias. And here's how it works. Free version, Instagram only, post up to 3 times per day. $20 version, 3 social media sites of your choice. So it could be Snapchat, it could be LinkedIn, it could be YouTube, it could be Facebook, TikTok. You pick 3 that you use. It'll post on all 3 of those. Again, follow up with all engagement, come up with the captions, do all of that, take literally 0 seconds of your time. That's $20. And then we have the media packages. We have a $50 and a $100 media package that goes on top of the 20. So if you have the $50 media package, what that's going to do is add carousels. So carousels, again, the benefit of a carousel is, let's say that it has 7 pictures with the words telling a story and things like that. How that works in the algorithm is it's going to go on the For You page for people so that they can see it, and it's going to be the first picture in the carousel. Then it's going to go again on that person's page, the second picture in the carousel, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, etc. So now you have a chance of marketing, getting out in front of the same people a lot more often. And so they're seeing your posts a lot more often when you do carousels than when you do just a single post. And then the $100 package, and it's actually $120 because you have the $20 package, you have the $100 media package to it, includes 15 and 30-second reels. Again, So we're talking about 9 posts a day, every single day, 3 different social media campaigns, following up as professional as you get, way better, guaranteed, way better than I could follow up with the people if I was doing it myself. We've got all the top training manuals for how to close sales online, and that's what the AI has been trained with. So if you can imagine, for somewhere between free to $120, having a complete social media campaign run for you, takes 0 seconds of your time. In addition to having that, it follows up with them all the way to sign up, and it's learning every single second from every single post, every single conversation from every single person. And if you have followed what's going big right now on social media, how are people becoming famous on social media? They're getting what's called clippers. And clippers they'll go and film YouTube videos, and then they'll pay clippers to go and find the hottest points of those hour, 2, 3, 4 hour videos, and just take little segments of those and post them. And then they pay them per views. And so some of the top streamers are paying $500,000 to $1 million or more to get this out, to just for people to post that content. You also look at people like Andrew and Tristan Tate. Regardless of what you feel about them, how did they become successful and create a business that has more than $1 billion valuation? They created what's called Hustlers University, and they taught them to basically be their clippers. So they got clippers for free, just paying an affiliate by getting people to post their information all over. And once they had around 10,000 people at Hustlers University posting all of Andrew and Tristan Tate's information all over the web, he became the most Googled person in the entire world, with around 10,000 people posting. Just think what happens when we have 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 50,000, 100,000 people linking up with Closer. We will take social media by storm like it's never happened in the history of the world. Nobody's had that ever. It has not existed. We're the first company with that technology set up with the campaigns and everything already done for you. And once people start to realize that, the entire thing is just going to be an onboarding of getting people to set up their Closer. And while they're waiting for engagement to happen, they just need to start boosting some posts. You can boost posts for $2, $3, $5, $10. And once you start boosting those posts, you're going to get engagement. And once you start to get engagement, you're going to make things happen. And here's the biggest thing that you have to realize. You never need to be able to sponsor more than 2 people in a month, period. You don't ever have to sponsor a third person to make more money than you can imagine. Think of this, Demitrius. We've seen the power of one. If I sign up 1 person a month and duplicate that, the first month is 1, the second month is 3, the third month is 7, the fourth month is 15. Now I fast forward to the 30th month is 10 million. The 36th month is 640 million. And in less than 3.5 years, you have the entire world, 8 billion people. Now look at that, it's around 40 months. I signed up 40 people and I have 8 billion in my organization. It's the entire world. Now, if I signed up 2 people in my first month, never a third. I didn't sign up 2 every month. 2 people in my first month. They sign up 2 people their first month. They sign up 2 people their first month. In 32 months, I have 8 billion people. I signed up 20 times less people. I signed up 2 instead of 40. 20 times less work, and I did it 20% faster. That's how powerful just 2 is. Can you imagine that? Nobody has to be able to sponsor more than 2 people to get 8 billion people in 2.5 years if it took you a month. It shouldn't take anybody a month to sign up too. You realize with our 48-hour blueprint, as soon as somebody joins, you're going to notice something in your back office, which is a 48-hour clock counting down. The goal is to get 2 people in 48 hours. Even on this product right here, a single bottle at 75. If you got 2 people in 48 hours and duplicated that, in 64 days, we have the entire world, 8 billion people. And we are a bigger company than NVIDIA, Amazon, Apple, and Tesla combined. In 64 days, 0 people spending more than $74, 0 people signing up more than 2. So if this isn't making sense to you, and you don't understand that network marketing is the most leveraged business in the history of the world, there is not a business in the world that has the potential of network marketing. Just by signing up 2 people in 2 days and duplicating that, $75, literally in 64 days, we're bigger than the 4 biggest companies in the history of the world. We're bigger than all 4 of them combined in 64 days. Nobody doing anything special. So what's the secret? The secret to this business is 2 things. Number 1, you have to have an exact launch plan. The second somebody started, if there's people listening to this for the very first time and they're wanting to start their business, their sponsor needs to have an exact launch, exactly how you're going to launch it. That goal of launch is 2 people. Why? Because if I can get 2 people during my launch, I've qualified for unlimited commissions. And now I'm going to have a launch for those 2. If they get their 2, now I'm in profit. Now we're going to have a launch for those 4, and a launch and a launch and a launch. The second thing is we need a backup plan in case we don't get 2 people during launch. And that backup plan is marketing. What is marketing? Marketing is simply getting exposure. The exposure giving a perception that you want people to see or to do. Closer's doing that for us. So if we have a launch, part of that launch is onboarding. We link them up to Closer, which is going to go on indefinitely. And I truly feel, probably not the first, second month, but if you start boosting some posts, or you already have some engagement on your social media, I think with Closer, you'll be signing up more than 1 person a month as is. But even if it takes a little while to get the, enough people seeing it and stuff like that, and you're not going out there and building the list, which we have an exact training guide to show how to do that. I think that we're going to be the first company that truly can get some decent duplication, and it doesn't take very much. If we can duplicate by 1s, then in less than 3 years or less than 4 years, we have the entire world. If we can duplicate by 2s, in less than 2.5 years, we have the entire world. We don't need the entire world to become the biggest network marketing company in the history of the world. We literally need, on this product, we would need in the ballpark of around 10 or 15 million distributors buying 1 bottle per month. And we'd be the biggest network marketing company in the history of the world. Now, think about that. I just explained how to get to 8 billion in 32 months or in 40 months, with 0 people signing up more than 1 a month or more than 2, period. 8 billion people. 8 billion is so much more than 15 million that you can't even fathom how much more it is. 15 million is not even scratching the surface of 8 billion. That's why I'm telling every single person, and have been telling every single person for over a year now, we will be a top 5 company in the network marketing world in the next 3 to 4 years. And it's because I started saying that before I knew of this product. Because just with Closer alone, that's going to get us a top 5 company. Because we're going to get more exposure than any other company ever has in the history of the world. Think about that. We're doing things that have never been done in the world ever. And we're in the most leveraged business that there is, period. There's no business that has the potential of network marketing. It does not exist. People need to get that in their head. We're not selling anything. We're offering the ability to be in the business that has more potential than any business in the world. We're offering opportunity. We're not selling. 99% of the world makes less than $34,000 a year. Human beings have no clue how to make money. 99% of them. They don't have a clue. What's the first step to make money? Opportunity. If opportunity is not present, there is no money. What are we offering? Opportunity. Unlimited opportunity. You don't have to fill out an application. You don't have to go get a degree. You just have to make a decision. Do you want opportunity or not? This is the biggest opportunity that's out there. We don't need anybody 75 or $130. We don't need to sell anything. We offer opportunity. 99% of the world needs it, period. And they don't have a clue how to get it. So the most empowering thing for me is once I figured out that I never need to sponsor more than one person a month to make unlimited income, I knew I was going to be successful. So many people think that I have to be like, I've had times system-wise that we signed up hundreds of people a month every single month. But typically I've never been that massive of a recruiter unless I was spending literally, I was always marketing. So we recruited a lot of people, but when I was recruiting a lot of people, I was spending like 40 to 70,000 a month on marketing. So the reason I was sponsoring a bunch of people was because I was spending a ton of money and creating a bunch of leads. Now we have people sponsoring hundreds of people that I bet you, I don't know how much they're spending on marketing, but with social media, I bet you that we had some of our people that are sponsoring 50, 60, 70, 100 people. They're probably spending almost no money on marketing. When I was sponsoring a couple hundred people a month, I was spending 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 on marketing. And that's how powerful social media is. I mean, most of the people that are sponsoring 50 to 100 people a month, which is not necessary. It's not even necessary to sponsor 2 people a month. And so I think sometimes people are sitting there watching a presentation. They're seeing people get recognized because they sponsored 30 people, 50 people, 80 people, 100 people. And they're sitting there thinking, man, I can't sponsor 80 people. I can't sponsor 100 people. These guys must be, I can't do what they're doing. You don't need to. And literally, it took me 3 years before I realized that. I went through 3 full years of frustration, working so hard. I do not know what I could have done more than what I was doing. I absolutely guarantee you, every single business in Cedar City, Utah, I stopped by and I dropped information off to the owner. 100% of apartments had my flyers on them at least once a month. Every trailer park, every bulletin board had my flyers on it. You would not go to any store that had a bulletin board and not see my flyers for the 4 years I was in college. Just didn't happen ever. And I probably, in a town of 30,000 people, I probably put out 50 to 100,000 flyers a month. And I still was only making, maybe $500 to $1,000 after 3 years. And I went door to door, literally door to door, handing people information, introducing myself, telling what I do for hours and hours, weeks and weeks and weeks, months in a row, going door to door every day, door hangers, all of that stuff. And I did all that because I thought that I have to sponsor a ton of people and I have to be awesome. And then when sitting in my little tiny trailer house, ready to give up on my dreams, I said, okay, what exactly has to happen? I have to duplicate, I have to retain. What am I trying to duplicate? Well, I got to build a list, cultivate the list, present the business to the list using tools, because I can't duplicate skill sets, 3-way calls, one-on-ones. None of those are scalable. They work fantastic. There's almost nothing that works better than a 3-way call, but it's not scalable for mass duplication. And one-on-ones, and it's not scalable for mass duplication. You need tools. And so then I started to realize, you know what? My business is my list. Most of the people that I've seen fell in network marketing because they don't even realize what their business is. Your business isn't Orygn. Your business is your list. You monetize your business with our products. Once you realize that, you're never going to struggle to make money, ever. But most people don't continually build their list every single day. So in their mind, they're building their business every day, but they don't understand what their business is. If you're not building your list every single day, you're not building your business every single day, because your list is your business. And what happens to most people, what you see in network marketing is just a bunch of networkers go from company to company to company. And why they do that is because they don't understand what's needed for a system. So they go to a company, they let their warm market, everybody know that they're in, they sign up a decent number of people because they have a business, they have a list. And then their people have some, their people have some, their people have some, their people have some. And then they get to the, third, fourth, fifth level. And now you're all the people that really are afraid to talk to people, just don't have the friends, don't have the social skills, whatever. They've tried everything, it hasn't succeeded. So they're the ones saying, "Oh, my warm market is blown, blah blah blah, whatever." It doesn't matter. And then the business kind of stagnates, and then it starts going backwards, and then you start hearing all these people whining and moaning because you have like 90% of the entire world are just victims, and they're victims of their circumstances. So that they would prefer to just be a victim and come up with all the excuses and everything that's going wrong, why they can't be successful. And so then that starts going up to the next person and the next person and the next person. And then you have all these people that are making money that are listening to all these people that just have that victim mindset. And then they start believing them and thinking, "Oh man, look, these guys can't do it. So my check's not going up." No, your check's not going up because you don't understand this business. Your check's not going up because you haven't been building your list every single day, having more people and teaching them to build their list and teaching them to build their list. There's billions of people on social media. There's an unlimited list available for free. So the bottom line that you got to realize, there is not a business with more potential than network marketing. There is not a nutrition product that is bigger than this in the world. And the ones that have made this whole thing are 100% synthetic with all kinds of side effects and a lot more money. So if I'm thinking, man, there's a product that's doing 60 billion a year, and it's got billions of dollars of lawsuits, so many side effects. I have something with the same studies but better, at 60 to 70 to 80% less cost, and it's in an opportunity that I can make unlimited income, that's using the latest AI technology to automate everybody to become a professional social media marketer. This is the biggest thing that's ever happened in network marketing. And we have people trying to sell this for $55. We're not selling anything unless you're getting a customer. We have the prize. This opportunity, I mean, can you believe when this comes out for the $74.95 and maxes out the comp plan? Can you believe that if you got two people and you help them get two, and you duplicated that 8 times, you're making $1 million a month in a business that costs you $74, and it really didn't cost you anything because you got product. And people think this is sales. It's like going and offering a gold bar and saying, acting like I'm trying to sell it. No, I'm not selling it, I'm offering it. There's 8 billion people in the world. 99% of them plus are struggling financially. The only thing that changes that is opportunity. So you have to understand what we're offering. And when you do, I think you'll be like Michelle, you'll be like Demitrius and people that are talking to everybody because they're just excited. When you're excited about a product that's working, you tell everybody. When you're excited about a business that's working, you tell everybody. And the more people that it works for, the easier it gets for everybody. And so you're going to see more and more and more people that are going to have a much easier time than the people right now. Why? Because right now we're in a transition. And we've had some issues. We've had a learning curve of, what are we going to do so that the bottles don't get damaged, so we have less leakage, so that all of these things, we're sending them out in a plain brown box when we had the most beautiful boxes that there was. And so the first, that first experience isn't that great. People are getting literally just a cardboard box with an amazing product in there. But as we continue on, even in the next couple of weeks, everything's going to be a nice branded box. And then within 5 weeks after that, it's going to be in a beautiful embossed tube with styrofoam inside, not styrofoam, but foam inside to hold the bottle secure. And it's going to look like a premium product, like it should, because it is a premium product. And so it's harder for us right now because we're the pioneers. We're the ones figuring this all out. Everybody as answering the question, why is the bottle only half full? I'm not going to have to do that anymore. because it's gonna be full, and the boxes are gonna be beautiful, and then it's gonna be better and better. And then we're gonna have the stick packs, and we're gonna have all of the stuff that everybody's asking for, and the AI is gonna learn more and more and more. So the opportunity is gonna get better and better and better, and the leaders that are coming are gonna get better and better and better, and we're all having the conversations with them. So hopefully this makes sense and you understand. This is when you want to go all in on something. When everything's aligned like this, there's nothing in the world bigger than AI, period. But what's the problem with AI? Most people don't know how to monetize it. Why do I want AI? The only reason I personally want AI is to either simplify my life or to make money, or both. But you have to have opportunity to make money with AI. So what opportunity is bigger than peptides right now in nutrition? And what peptides are bigger than GLP? None. It's the biggest. And now we're showing people how to monetize peptides and AI at the same time. The biggest trend in nutrition and the biggest trend in the world basically combined and create what we're doing. And we're afraid to tell people about it. Not everybody. So get some confidence. And here's the last thing I'll say. Just as a human being, as part of this race, you're capable of anything you can put your mind to. Don't sell yourself short. We're in 2026. The opportunities that are available for us, the experiences that are available for us, if we have time and if we have money, is unlike any other time in the history of the world. Wasn't that long ago that people weren't, I mean, if you're going to go to Europe, you're getting on a boat for a month or two and hoping that you survive the trip. Now we get on a airplane, and if you're making money, you're either on a private plane or you're laying down in a bed watching TV, getting free food, and you're landing in the places that you can't experience if you can't see it from a video. And I saw something that literally like less than 10% of the world ever leaves their country. We live in 2026. We have an opportunity to give people complete control of their time and have the ability to make unlimited finances and at the same time improve their health. So anyways, I'm going to stop talking. Turn it back over to you, Demetrius. And hopefully you guys understand that there's two people, help them get to a year in profit. Duplicate it 4 times your 6 figures, 6 times your 7, 8 times your 8. 8 figures, 7 or 8 figures. If you can't live comfortably on that, then relax a little bit. It's plenty of money.
First of all, guys, can you guys please show Dan some love in the chat? Send him a message if you can read it. If you're connected on social media, tell him thank you, Dan. Thank you so much for your time. I know a lot of us are like, okay, let's freaking get to work. That was incredible. Not your typical opportunity Zoom, but I hope you guys appreciate the time that he just gave you guys. I hope you appreciate the realness, the sincerity, right? The transparency. Um, you can obviously tell his passion for helping people, his passion for this industry and everything. His whole career has led up to like this moment to create what I believe is the perfect storm. If I were to like AI generate a perfect product to market, it would be this. If I were to do the same thing with an opportunity, it would look like what we have here. The opportunity has been decades and decades of trial and error and trying to figure out the best way to get the best out of people. And everything in the comp plan is designed for us to help duplicate and retain. So you just heard it from what I believe is like the greatest in our industry leading the company. With a product like this, how can you fail? With a pay plan like this, how can you fail? With leaders like are on this Zoom right now and like we have in this company, how can you fail? With a company owner that has that much heart and passion to help people win, that much care, who just took, look at all the time he took out of his day to pour into us because he has vision and he has goals and hopes for this company to be top in this industry. And I know we're going to get there. My friends, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for hopping on. I believe this is going to be a hot replay for anybody that was unable to get on. For those of you who had somebody share this with you, get back to whoever invited you. Let them know you're ready to run. At least get on the product to see what it does for you. But if you guys, after hearing that and you don't see the opportunity here, then I don't know, maybe you just need a checkup from the neck up. You're dead from the neck up, right? You don't understand opportunity, but this is huge. This is going to be huge. This is going to help change so many lives, and I cannot wait to see where this company goes over the next 2 to 3 years. I know it's going to be big, and I know people on the Zoom, your life can be completely different from before you saw this information and this opportunity. So, Dan, thanks again. You're amazing. We'll get this replay out as quick as possible, and we'll see you guys on the next one.